Oh, there we go. Going live. Okay. Let me wait that I got my feedback. Okay, I got my feedback. Awesome. So, welcome everyone to the DevNation show. Show number, I don't know, but show number 4 from my garden. That's for sure. Okay. I'm so happy to be here. Let me go to my studio, see if everything goes wide. Okay, awesome. It's hot today. It's 22 degrees. Okay, so yeah, you see, I upgraded my chair. And yeah, it will be fun today. We will have an awesome interview with Christian. I will bring him up on stage in a few seconds. Also, we will play a game, and you know what? We will play the game from Red Hat Summit from last week. You know, maybe you were there. Bursutter and his team of engineers always do crazy games. Well, today you have the opportunity to play this game again. Okay, it's a Battleship with a really smart AI. You will see that. We will go through not through the code, but through the deployments that are doing that. And maybe I will spend some time showing you some stuff that were announced last week during the Red Hat Summit, like drag and drop your jar file in OpenShift or manage Kafka. I have it ready, and we will see depending on the time how it goes. Let me go here on the feedback. And hey, I see James already. Barry, hello, Barry. Yeah, James, I get my Kubernetes t-shirt. Yeah, and for sure, say hello on the chat. I love people being chatty, say where you come from, etc. And yeah, we will have fun. So let me, you know what? Let me bring my guest on stage. Let me try to press on the good buttons, and let me see. Yes, there we have. Oh. Why do I do that wrong? There we are. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Sebastien.
Hey.
To see you. I'm really impressed with your scenery. I should definitely upgrade my working place.
Yeah, and well, I do it here because it's cool. Not only because it's cool, but because it's the place where I get the best connection. Because I rely on my phone for my connection, because my ADSL is really bad. But my 4G is not that bad, especially when I'm outside. So that's the reason I'm outside. So anyway, hey, thank you so much for joining the show. Just I see you put your name as Chris. You prefer Chris or Christian? You have any preferences?
Either way. Most of the people call me Chris, but Christian is fine.
Chris, okay, Chris then goes. And by the way, it's put Sebastien here, but everyone calls me Sebi as well. That's my nickname. So welcome to the show. Well, let's get started. I always ask this first question to my guests. So can you introduce yourself and tell us a bit what you do in your life?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Christian Sandrini. Thanks again for having me here. I'm a senior solution architect working in the banking industry, and my main responsibility at the moment is implementing OpenShift, bringing OpenShift into the bank, which is a nice challenge. Certainly very interesting. But yeah, so that's what I currently do.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds interesting. I guess a lot of challenges. Yeah, let's start from the beginning. Let me ask you that. What was your first computer?
Wow, that was a long time ago. You know, the very first computer, I couldn't probably not even tell what it was, because I had some a company in my neighborhood, and they had kind of a trash bin where they threw away old computer parts. And so I was allowed to go there and dig out all the computer parts, trying to get them running somehow, which I managed eventually. But I think the first proper computer was an i3-86.
86. Okay. And did you start coding directly on it, or was it to play games, or?
No, I think, I mean, the first operating system was running on DOS, and then you know, the first was going on Windows 3.1. It was actually. So I wasn't developing back then. I was like 7 years old.
Okay.
But I got into development, you know, a couple of years later. You know, I got into Linux systems maybe 2-3 years after my first computer. And this is also when I started scripting and started getting into the development as well.
Oh, yeah. So you started, so when did you start using Linux? In which year was that?
I couldn't tell you the exact year, but the first Linux derivative was Debian.
Debian, yeah.
And this was also the time when SUSE started to become popular in a sense that it was kind of the first CD-ROMs that you could buy in a shop. So I got into SUSE as well, and then just much later I got into Gentoo and Red Hat.
I remember in my engineer school with Debian updating the Debian with floppy disk. Well, for 3.5 floppy disk with how do you call it in English? It was called the saver that you could add to your Debian distribution. It was another word for patches, but yeah, we were really excited about that. And anyway, so and yeah, you say you start scripting. What did you do with your when you started with your Linux computer? How did you play with it? What you did? You said scripting, but what did you script, for instance?
Yeah, I mean, I really felt in love with command line. So what really attracted me at the end was installing Gentoo, because you could do it all out of the box. So you really bootstrap from the start, from the beginning. And then I started using scripting for pretty much any task I was doing. I would call myself probably a kind of a lazy engineer, just because I don't like repetitive tasks. So I script and automate pretty much everything I can. And this started as a kid as well. So
okay.
I was doing all sorts of scripts of automating. You know, it was back then. It was cool to have a web browser based on text input.
Oh yeah.
So I tried to script with little browser games. I tried to script automation in doing kind of automated tasks on the browser games while using some text-based browsers.
Okay.
Little fun things.
Yeah, that's fun. Yeah. And so what? So let's go a bit further. What did you study? Did you have an engineer degree, or I don't know how you call it back?
Yeah, I mean, I have a bachelor in computer science, but that actually came much later. So in Switzerland, what I did was an apprenticeship. It's like a 4-year school where you learn computer science and you have like practical work. You're actually working. Okay. And many years later, actually, I did my bachelor degree in computer science. And right now, I'm currently also doing a master degree in artificial intelligence, which should be done in about 3 months.
In 3 months? Wow. Okay.
In 3 months, yeah.
Wow, is it? I guess a lot of mathematics for this one.
It's a lot of statistics. A lot of numbers.
Yeah. People like to throw about intelligence and artificial intelligence, saying, "Yeah, it's just statistics." Well, it's a lot of.
It is. There is no intelligence in artificial intelligence.
Exactly. There's no, not yet.
Not yet, exactly.
Not yet. Yeah. Okay. And so, what was your first job in IT? Was it where you currently work, or did other?
My first real job, I mean, I had apprenticeships. I was working for Lufthansa back then, but my real first work was also in banking, which I started in Solaris Linux. So my initial start was Unix-based, but it wasn't on Red Hat. So Red Hat came actually much later professionally. I was still using Linux in my hobby, but Solaris was the thing couple of years back.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. And yeah, I didn't ask you what is your current Linux distribution for your personal computer? Is it still
I use Fedora, and I have also MacBook, so I have 2.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
and Windows for work, but I shouldn't tell this.
So, yeah. Well, it's pretty much the same as me. I'm now currently on my Mac now for doing this stream, but I have my Fedora box that I use mainly for developing and because I have all my screens and etc. And Windows. No, I don't have a Windows. Well, my son has a Windows computer to play games. Yeah. And sometimes I wonder, I want to play some super cool games, and I should maybe buy a computer. Yeah, there's one game that I want to play. I'm a big fan of Half-Life, the first-person shooter, and there's a new version where you can use it with a virtual reality helmet, but it only works on Windows. And I almost want just to buy a gaming PC just for this game, but yeah, we will see later.
Yeah, well, that sounds very interesting, at least.
Are you a gamer, by the way?
Not anymore. I used to game quite a lot when I was younger.
Okay.
But I just didn't have time anymore to go into gaming.
I understand. Yeah, a bit the same for me. I recently started again Counter-Strike with some old friends, and we do some. On Friday evening, we play 2 hours Counter-Strike, and it's still relaxing. Let's say.
Yeah, I mean, I miss the old days where we had the LAN parties where everyone brings his computer and where you had this huge, screens and everything. That was
exactly. It was an whole adventure. LAN parties at friends or at my place. It was everybody carrying his big CRT stuff, and most of the evening was spent of getting the networking working. And then at around 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning, it was working, and we could start playing. Yeah. I miss that as well.
Good old times.
Yeah. So let's continue. We can mention that briefly, but you just got an award from Red Hat. Can you remember the name of it? Because I remember.
Yeah, I'm now officially the Certified Professional of the Year 2021.
So congratulations for that.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. And by the way, if people look on Red Hat, I don't have the link here, but there's a short video of you explaining a bit. So that brings us to Red Hat and slowly to the cloud. I want to speak a bit about the cloud with you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start this way. Because everyone speaks about cloud native, and everyone has a different definition of it. So what is cloud native for you? What does it mean for you?
So cloud native for me, I see it as an abstraction layer, trying to completely simplify work that needs to be done. If you look at development, usually developer cares about the code and running the code, and doesn't much care about how it's been run, about how to scale it, how to make it highly available. And cloud native to me is exactly this. It's basically I can throw in my code somewhere into a magic box, and it magically just runs nicely. It's nicely scaled and highly available. And so this really is cloud native to me, removing complexity that really people or end users and developers shouldn't really care.
Yeah, I think it's pretty nice definition. Yeah, and I agree with it. And we also mentioned a lot of serverless lately, which is even going higher than that. That's me as a developer, I just want to deploy my workload. Well, in one sense, with OpenShift and Kubernetes, it's already the case a bit, I find, but you can push that further, like with stuff like Knative. I don't know. Have you played a bit with serverless?
I have played a bit. I mean, originally I was using Lambda functions, and then with serverless, I got to go a bit. I don't have too much time at the moment to play around with all of these new toys, and it's like community is growing so quickly that there's so many projects coming. It's very hard to keep up the pace. But it's absolutely fantastic idea.
Yeah. Okay, and that's a good point. You say you don't have enough time. You don't have enough time because you are doing this degree in artificial intelligence. That's so hard for me to say. In French, it's the opposite. It's intelligence artificielle. So I have to do the trick in my head every time. But also, and I don't know if you are currently doing any of this, but you do a lot of certification. If we go on your website, you have a huge list, and
of my second hobby.
Your second hobby, yeah. So I would like to talk a bit about it because 2 weeks ago for the show we had someone. We had Nick from Lego, working at Lego in Denmark, and he's also a monster of certification. He's passing all the Amazon certification currently. Okay, and he explained us a bit how he did that and when he could do that and why he did it. So let's start with why. Why do you pass certification? What is the main reason for you to pass certifications?
Yeah, I mean, especially with Red Hat certification. So one of the major benefits of these are because they're very hands-on. You get very quickly into a topic. So whenever we have a new topic, satellite or OpenShift, basically I just go and look for the courses and do them, which basically gives you a very quick head start into this topic that you're looking at. And after that, I think you have enough munition to go and kind of play with yourself and just continue.
Yeah.
So this is my main motivation. Whenever I saw opportunities for technology, in the bank I'm working in, I was just basically going through the certifications, looking what they can do, and just see how it works.
Yeah. It's and let's say about the certification, you are working and you need time to prepare the certification, and when do you do that? Because I know that some people do that late during the evenings, but other people say, no, you know what, you can also wake up really early and before your work study on that. So what's your study plan for certifications?
Yeah, I mean, so during my master's study, certifications is a bit left behind. But my normal day usually starts at 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning studying. So I do have early starts. When I go to work, I mean, before COVID, when I had to commute, I had like a 2-hour commute, so it was perfect to do studies during the commute. I was commuting by train. But yeah, otherwise in the evenings, after work, before work, whenever I have time to do it.
When you have time. Okay. Yeah. And I can imagine 2 hours of commute in the train. That's the perfect opportunity to do this kind of thing, because you really don't have the feeling to waste your time. And so that's also
the only downside is if you're in the middle of the lab and you're supposed to get out of the train. Sometimes I miss it, so I just miss the stop and it was
you missed the stop. That happened to you. You missed the stop sometimes.
Yeah, it happened a couple of times. I went all the way to Germany until I realized that I'm way too far.
Really, you went until Germany and. Oh yeah, usually people fall asleep and they wake up. Okay, that is awesome. Do you have any tips for people who would like getting started with getting certifications? Do you have a top 3 of tips or?
Yeah, I mean, when we're talking about Red Hat certifications, at least, I really love the online learning subscription, mainly because you get the chance to do the lab. You have an online lab where you can play with the environment. And so this is really nice. And I think if you want to get into Linux, then RHCE is definitely one of the top courses to do, I think. And if you're interested in OpenShift, obviously there's so many courses around OpenShift that are absolutely fantastic to get started, and it's all full hands-on, so it's super interesting topics.
Okay, that's cool. And do you have some? If you need help, how does that work? To be honest, I have no idea. Do you have a mentor, or you got a chat, or you can call someone?
Yeah, I mean, depending on the subscription base that you have, I mean, there's a community forum that you can use, but there's also kind of support that you can ask for, and that there's some private time that you can book into to ask questions if you want to do that.
Okay.
Yeah. And maybe as a super beginner, it might be worth having a one-to-one or kind of like a guided course with the proper teacher. That would help. Yeah. But I think once you have a certain knowledge around Linux and how it all works, then self-paced learning is, for me, the preferred solution.
Yeah. But can you also communicate with other people that are passing the same certification at the same time? Is there some kind of community or like where
only through the forum actually, but it's not like you can chat, because it's not like you don't have like a fixed start. Everyone can start whenever they want. So it's a bit hard to kind of align with other people unless they start at the same time that you know.
Okay. Yeah. And I was just checking the chat. We have a question in the chat when we were speaking probably about cloud native. And Kurt, hey Kurt, by the way, he's Kurt is asking, is Docker and Kubernetes cloud native to you? Well, my answer is yes, of course. And I guess for you too, it's part Docker.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think definitely Docker and Kubernetes are a big part of cloud
Well,
native, the whole cloud
yeah.
native stack.
Yeah. And thank you, Kurt, because this is a nice transition, because I would like to focus a bit about Kubernetes, and then we can speak also a bit about OpenShift. So yeah, we spoke together beginning of the week, and you told me that you love Kubernetes. How did you how did you discover Kubernetes? And was that in the beginning of when it was released, or was it?
It was pretty much in the beginning when it was made public, when I discovered Kubernetes.
Yeah.
It was also the beginning when I started to look into containers.
Yeah.
Super interesting topic for sure. I mean, it's crazy how fast it evolved over the years. Since like the first versions to what it got now, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah. And yeah, well, I guess if you are in charge of OpenShift at your work, I was about to say, do you use Kubernetes at your work? But yeah, that for sure. But before we focus a bit on OpenShift, maybe just Kubernetes in generic. I asked this question to all my guests, and we got super interesting answers every time. Is first one is, what is your preferred feature of Kubernetes?
Everything, no, but I think one of the nicest feature at the moment is the concept of operators and custom resource definitions. Mainly because, I mean, this is what I really like also in the whole cloud native stack is to have an abstraction layer so that the consumer really doesn't need to care on how it actually works. It just needs to kind of configure it in a way it needs to, and then all the complexity is done or given away to people that have all the domain knowledge over the product. So that's the fantastic invention, I would say. Even if it's probably not a core feature of Kubernetes, but
no, it's super cool. I love operators as well. I've been diving into operators for the last months now because I want, and yeah, this concept of custom resource definition, and I try to teach that in my deep dives as well. You explain to the people, well, you can define any custom resource that you want. You can. That shows how extensible Kubernetes is. So you create. We have. In my example, we have a crazy pizza custom resource definition where you can define pizza resources in your Kubernetes, and then we have a silly controller that bakes your pizzas for you. But it makes the point that you can extend it like you want. And do you? Because you said when you started with Linux, you liked to script and to automate all the things. So, well, operators is a bit like automating stuff for you as well. Did you try to create your own operator?
I haven't played a lot with creating operators. I mean, we created a couple operators based on Ansible. We didn't do the Go language, but it was Ansible-based operators. Mainly to kind of bootstrap projects. If people request a new project inside OpenShift, we have an operator that takes basically this custom resource definition and sets up, all the permissions and quotas and whatnot.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. We have in our team, we do deep dives, and we have an operator SDK deep dive. And in the first part, we show two things. We show how you can take a Helm chart, for instance, and wrap that into an operator, which is pretty nice because you can take any existing Helm chart. And the second one is Ansible. How can you take existing Ansible roles, playbook, and package that as an operator. And with the operator SDK, it's a matter of typing a few commands and you get it ready.
It's super easy to use.
It's super easy to use. So, okay, cool. That's a nice one. That's the first time that someone answer operators, and I'm really happy about that. And the second question that I always ask is, if you could pick if you could choose one feature of your dreams that, even if it doesn't exist yet, even if it maybe will never exist, and you have the power to put it in the next Kubernetes release, what would that feature be?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. I'm not sure this would be my, feature of my dreams, but it certainly would help me, a great time, which is having kind of a single switch to activate zero trust. I mean, this seems to be a common theme at the moment, and also in the bank, we have to adhere to zero trust principles. And having a switch which configures Kubernetes in a way that all communication is automatically fully encrypted, etcd is encrypted and whatnot. Having a single switch like this would be awesome, but unfortunately, it's not the case. So we have to all manually implement all sorts of hacks to get it running.
It could be done, I guess, with an operator, with a custom resource, really small YAML trust false, and you apply it, and your whole cluster, the controller take care of that and disables, enables zero trust everywhere. It could be.
That would be awesome. That
would be awesome. Okay, so if anyone is listening and knows how to do it, or who wants to do it, I think it's a great idea. Let's take the time. Yeah, we're still on time. So thank you. They were really interesting answers. I collect them, and at the end of the year, I will make a video showing all the answers from everyone. I already made one. I will share the link with you if you want. So, and I really like it because there's one feature that someone dreamed of, and actually it's available now in OpenShift. Maybe I will show it after the interview in this stream. Speaking of OpenShift, so yeah. I guess you love OpenShift because you
absolutely
yeah.
Absolutely.
So where you work, are you keeping up to date the OpenShift version? Are you already on OpenShift 4?
We are on the leading edge. We are like 4.7.6. Well, actually, there's a new update. We should actually do the new update. Since it's it's at the very beginning in our stage, we just try to keep on the latest versions while we onboard people. And from the start, we teach them that there will be regular updates, which is an absolute normal thing. And luckily, updates now with version 4, it's become a lot more easy than the old Ansible installer beast.
Because of operators.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. And awesome. And well, maybe I can ask you the same question I asked you for Kubernetes. What is your favorite OpenShift specific feature that you love?
Yeah, I mean, it's also operates at. I just find it amazing that you can just throw in a couple of operators and they just magically bootstrap themselves, and if one is broken, they will just continue to fix themselves. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty cool. Yeah. I think my favorite one is the old one, that is the OC expose. It's just the expose service, and because I do a lot of demos with Kubernetes, and usually I show a service with the load balancer, and if I'm on Amazon or Azure, it creates a URL, public URL for me, but it takes maybe 2 minutes to get resolved. And always I say, you know what, we don't have time. I do OC get expose my service, and I show the root, I paste the root, and it's working out of the box. And that's
which reminds me, one of the great feature that unfortunately gets decommissioned is the OC export with the option of -- template, which basically just removes all the unnecessary fields to generate the template. I don't know why they remove it, but I think that was an excellent feature. We should have it back.
Okay, but that's a great feedback, and maybe someone on the chat can, maybe if Chris is still on the chat, and we can collect it at least, and come with a reply. Yeah. Sometimes that happens. Great stuff and gets removed. And last question. Well, not last question. We can continue, but I'm curious about because I'm a developer, and on OpenShift you have this developer view. On OpenShift, do you have developers that use that view, or maybe the first question is, does developers have access to the cluster in your company?
Yeah, they absolutely have access, and so most of our developers, they don't have a great knowledge of OpenShift.
Yeah,
and I think the web UI is the perfect entry point for them, because they can kind of click themselves through certain tasks, and then they can kind of grab the YAML definitions and make that then in a CI/CD pipeline. So it's a great starting point for them. And obviously for a demo, it's also nice to see when you do a rolling update and you see all these nice features. But other than that, I mainly use the CLI if I work on
it. Yes, exactly. Yeah, me too. But I do a lot of demo. I'm dev advocate, so I often show the console because it's cool to show. But even for myself, when I create a container, from the dev view, it's so easy to do deploy from container. I just type my container name from Docker Buffer Cray, and I just click, and if I need quickly to deploy a workload, it's so easier. And now you can even go faster. You can drop your jar file in the topology view, and then you can choose, or if you want it to be a deployment or a native service if you have serverless installed. And but I will probably show it in a few minutes.
So that's a feature we're talking about that was requested.
Yeah, that was requested. By Wade Sang. The first show ever was back in August. And when I asked the question, Ray, he said, "Oh, it will be nice. I'm a Java developer. I make my jars, and I would like to just push my jar to the cluster and get it deployed." And and last week it was showed at the Red Hat Summit. So it's there. I like it. I think maybe it won't be used directly in production, but if in a company developers get access to a QA cluster, a dev cluster, and maybe they never had time to learn too much about Kubernetes, even not maybe about containers, but they know how to make a jar, and now they can create their jar, drag and drop it to see if it's working, and it lowered the entry, the barrier to enter the cloud native world.
Absolutely.
So let me just double check the chat if we have some. So Kurt was asking, doesn't Helm provide that as well? Oh, maybe that was when we spoke about operators, and then I mentioned that you can do that with Helm chart. And someone is asking, April is asking, 20 certification with question mark. That's a lot. And what are they in? Well, these are public now on your website, so I could share your website.
They're public.
Yeah. Let me do that right now, because otherwise.
Well, I think on the website it's not actually. There's probably more nowadays, but
I see. It stops in. It stops in 2018 with your OpenShift certification. 2018.
Yeah, so there's definitely a lot more.
Okay, so I'm going to paste it. It's just a preview for the people. Okay, so but by the way, it's not just for the certification, but I put your website there, so people can get all the information about you, which is great. You know what? That's it for me. We are I still need to do some demos and etc. But it was pretty awesome to speak with you, and was really interesting to hear how you went through all this certification, but also speaking a lot about Kubernetes. You had some great answers about the preferred features. I always love this part of the interview. Again, congratulations again for being the certified champion of the year, something like that.
Okay, thank you very much. It was a pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.
Hopefully we will cross our roads at one time, maybe when we will be able to travel, and maybe at a Red Hat Summit or something like that. And
I should definitely visit your garden. It looks fabulous.
Oh yeah. It is amazing. Yeah. All my cats are around me here right now, and Okay, hey, thank you so much, and hopefully we see each other in maybe next year. Okay.
I hope so. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Sebastien.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
So that was cool. We learned a lot of stuff, and every time I get a new guest, we learn new stuff, we hear new stories, and I think it's really interesting. So anyway, let me double check how things are going here over there. Yeah, everything goes well in the chat. So we have some time left. Let me drink some water, even if I drop my bottle during the interview. But there we go. We're going to play a game, but before that, I want to do 2 small demos. Okay, because last week it was Red Hat Summit, and when there's summit, there are announcements. Okay, and there were some great announcements. I cannot cover them all of them here, but there are 2 things that I want to show you. The first one is Red Hat Manage Streams, which means manage Kafka. Okay, we all know how Kafka is important, event-driven architecture, and setting up your Kafka cluster is not the easiest thing. Well, in Kubernetes with the operator, it makes your life easier, but still, the entry barrier is high, and even if once you have your cluster running, you have to maintain it. Okay, wouldn't it be cool if you could have a Kafka cluster that is managed for you, and the only thing you need to do is create your topics, and you don't care of where your Kafka cluster is running. It's all managed for you. Well, that was one of the announcements, okay? And it's still in beta, okay? But let me try if I can show you a little bit how it looks like, because let me share my screen. There we go. Let me share. So here we are in Inception mode. Okay, here you see the Restream Studio. But where does it start? It starts on cloud.redhat.com. Okay, that is the place to be, and this website will become more and more important. Okay, you go there, you log in with your, or if you are a Red Hat customer, with your Red Hat customer account, or with your Red Hat developer account. You can create it. It's free. You will get access to great resources, invitation for the deep dives that we do, and etc. And you can access some of our betas. Okay, so let me maybe copy this link here over there. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. And there we go. And we got here. I'm just checking the strike. Oh, we have Christian there on YouTube. And Striker Cube. Okay. Anyway, I paste you there the link, and look at this. On cloud.redhat.com, you can do a lot of things. You can manage your OpenShift clusters, for instance. Okay. You can create your Kubernetes cluster, but you also have access to your managed services. And I have access here to Kafka, manage Kafka in beta, okay? But look how it looks like. I come here on Kafka instance, and I have this big button, and I just click it, okay? And here I say, well, I want my cluster to be called DevNation Show. Okay, here I choose my cloud provider. For now, it's just on Amazon, but you can imagine that later when we will spread it up, you could pick any cloud provider that you want. Okay, which region? For now, it's just this in the US East Virginia. I create my instance. Okay, and there we go. Everything is managed for me. That will create a Kafka cluster for me. Let's see how much time does it. It takes around 2 or 3 minutes, depending, I think, about the cluster where it's getting created, okay, if it's busy or not. But it's pretty fast. And once it's created, well, basically all you have to do is create a service account for you, okay, to protect your Kafka topics, because you don't want anyone be able to send Kafka requests on your topic. Okay, so you mainly do that by creating a service account that will give you an API key and API secret that you can use in your services that you will bind to this Kafka cluster. Okay, resources. How to get started, and this is great because you get some quick starts here. Okay, and you can start the tour, and which is great here is you get here the quick start, and you can just follow all the steps. It never moves away while it's getting created. Okay, so you see creating a Kafka instance, creating a service account, and creating a topic. So I already did step 1. Okay, step 1. So it's explained me how to do that. I already do that. Cluster name, create instance. Okay, and I have to wait. The instance status is ready. Okay, let's imagine it's ready. Next step is is creating my service account, okay? And let me see, authentication method. I can choose my authentication method. And finally, probably the next step is creating my topic, okay? Hopefully in a few seconds it will be, and if there's a plane, oh, it's a helicopter. Okay, maybe you hear there's a helicopter going above my house. Okay, but I think that you can still hear me. So I really hope it will get ready, because I just want to show you how easy it is to create a topic. But imagine that your Kafka cluster will be created for you. It's fully integrated in OpenShift in the developer view, okay? So you will be able to bind your services, your workloads with your Kafka topics. On the tooling side, there are awesome Visual Studio Code plugins as well to make your life really easy to create your Kafka topics. There's a command line. So here I'm clicking, but there's also a command line available to manage your manage Kafka. Okay. Anyway, why is getting? Oh, there it is. My Kafka instance is ready. Okay. So it's really, it's there. I can click on it, and what I could do now is something like create a topic. Okay, and now I can create a topic. I say my topic, for instance. There we go. And I do next. How many partitions do I want in my topic? Well, let's go for 3, for instance, 3 partitions. I can choose my retention time. Maybe I can increase a bit here. Retention time, by default, in Kafka, it's 1 week. I can make it a day, or I can make it, I can make it really short if I want. Retention size, unlimited, or I can set the custom size. So anything that you can do on a Kafka topic, you can do it just by clicking, and again, you just do next, finish, and the managed Kafka will create the topic for you. Okay, topic is there, ready to be used, and that's it. Okay, so I really encourage you to try it out. There were 1,000 slots available. There will be more in the future. I don't know if there's still slots available, but anyway, give it a try. Go on developers.reddit.com. There are great blog posts, videos that explain you how you can play with all this great stuff. That was the first one. Second one, and then we will play the game, don't worry. And I will let the game running for a while, so you will be able to play it after. I just want to see, hey, Evan. And Evan is there. And he did last week, well, at the exact same time, he did an awesome demo about Managed Kafka. And so go on the YouTube channel, or the channel where you're right, if you are on YouTube. Sorry for the people from Twitch, but you can go to the Reddit Developer YouTube channel, and you can watch a replay from the tech talk from Evan from last week. Believe me, watch it. It's really cool. Last thing, and then we will play the game. I got it here. Let me show you that. I got here OpenShift 4.8. Okay, so Christian, you say you were on 4.7.6. That is 4.8, so the latest. Okay, and there's one great feature. Let me call this the DevNation. Create a new project. Okay, I go to the developer view, my favorite view because I'm a developer, and let me go here. Let me hope. Come on, topology. Okay. Topology, it should work. No resource found, okay? And I told you there's a new feature that Raitsang wanted, drag and drop of a jar file. Let's see if that works. So I got here an application that I created last week, and I got my jar here, Best of Summit. And let me drop it here. And look at this, upload a jar, my jar file. I say it's a Quarkus app. Okay, Quarkus app, and I want it to be deployment, but I could make it also a Knative service. I could set environment variables, my health checks, anything, but let's keep it simple. I just hit create here, okay? And my jar file is uploading now, okay? And we can take a look at this. Let me take a look here, view logs, okay? So what happens? Well, the jar file is getting uploaded from my computer to my cluster, to my OpenShift cluster. It's done, okay? And now you can create a container image from this jar file, okay? That should be pretty fast. Once he has this image, well, he push it to the internal widget. Here you can see the steps. You see, he's doing the steps. And once he gets pushed that in the registry, well, he creates a regular Kubernetes deployment. He creates a route for me. I think it's already done. Let me take a look here at the topology. There we go. It's almost done. Okay, container is getting created. Okay, so let me take a look at the logs here. Let me see. Ooh, oh, could be the. You know what? I think. Yeah. I think I pasted the wrong jar file. I didn't paste a Uber jar. That could be it. Okay. Maybe that's it. Yeah. So I probably did a new build since then, because it needs to be a runnable jar, And what I did, oh no, I didn't copy the runner. That's why. Let me copy the runner and copy. No? Oh, no. Okay, now I know what I did. I reused this demo and I don't have the runnable jar because I compiled that to native. Anyway, believe me, if you have a runnable jar, that was not a good demo then. If you get a runnable jar, well, then it just works. I can show you the application that I deployed. Okay, I probably get it running here. Well, I have it as a Knative version. It was just a small application doing a hello world. Okay. If I do /best of, so that's exactly the same jar that I posted. Okay, and here say bonjour les amis. Okay, so drag and drop your jar. You can do it now in OpenShift 4.8. We have 13 minutes left to play the game. So for people who were here last week at Red Hat Summit, you probably remember that on day 2, there was an awesome demo, an awesome game showing off all the great technology that Red Hat provides you on top of OpenShift. So serverless. Oh, it's getting really windy here. Serverless, Kafka, of course, artificial intelligence. All these components were put together to create an awesome game. And this game, we are going to play it right now. Okay? And this game is a Battleship game. Okay? And you will be playing against the computer. Okay? Not the computer running on your computer running as a pod. Okay? And let me paste the link for you. Okay? And there we go. If someone here is on the chat and could copy maybe the link to the Twitch OpenShift TV chat, okay, that would be awesome. So people watching us on Twitch could also join the game, okay? Anyway, you should have the same screen as me here. Okay, before we start, let me quickly show you, if I go here in the admin view to the project. So this game has a lot of different namespaces. There's the Battleship backend, the dashboard, the leaderboard, the scoring system. Okay, there's a data grid because I deployed it now just on one cluster, but you can deploy that on several clusters. It will still work. Okay, we have the front end here. AI. If we go inside the AI and we take a look at the workloads, for instance, I have here several pods. Let's take a look at the AI logs. Can we see anything interesting? Expand. Oh, yeah, I can see some pretty complicated stuff with predictions. So that is the AI. Okay, anyway, statistics again. Are you ready to play the game? Because I can start a game whenever I want, because I have access to the admin console. And I am going to hit the button play, and you should be able to play the game. And let's go. So first thing, you can place your chips. Okay, so you can rotate them, place them somewhere else. Let me do something like that. Okay, and then you should be able to play the game. Oh, and it's hidden by me by the. Click to play. Okay. Oh, invalid. Oh yeah, he's right. That's not a valid placement, and I can play the game. Okay, I start. So let me do a wild guess. Over there, miss. Okay, let's see the computer if he's smart. Ooh, he got a hit. Okay, let me try here. It's a miss again for me. And the computer, oh, miss for computer. So let's try maybe somewhere Here, hey, I've got a hit. But, ooh, that was close. Let me see here. And the first time that you will destroy a ship, you will see you will have a bonus party where you have to click the fastest as possible to collect even more points. Maybe maybe next time next move I will be able to do it. Yeah, look at this. Oh no, you know what? I'm going to destroy his biggest ship. How do you call that? I don't remember in English. Le porte-avions, the carrier. Okay, so there we go. I can click. There we go. Go. Okay, so let's play a bit. I'll leave you play a bit the game. I can pause it as well. But I want to go to take a look at the dashboard. Oh, look, that's the dashboard. So we have our top 9 players, 7 players. So we can do better. People, join the game. Maybe if I refresh, it should be live. But let me do it again. We have 8 players, 10 games has been played, 2 games has been completed. So we get all the statistic live. Okay, so let me see if people are. And Christian is saying, now I know what we should implement at work. Yeah. Awesome. So I'm curious if people can, you know what? I think that's me this morning when I try out the game. So I'm still number 1. So try to beat me. I think it's, oh, look, yeah, the score is updated real time. Okay, so on the chat, there's Ivan as well. He did a great talk last week about Kafka, but he did a crazy job on this game as well. Okay, he was with an awesome team of engineers, and they worked as crazy on these games. Okay, they worked for weeks and weeks, and yeah. And one great thing they also did was documenting the game, how to deploy it. So this morning I was just able to follow the instructions and just run some commands, and I get this running on my cluster. So this is awesome. Let me see. You know what? I can do that because that's a favorite feature of Berserker, because he loves to do that. He can pause the game for everyone. Look, you should all have the game paused now. Okay. And that is really useful when you do a keynote or a presentation and you want people to get your focus again. Okay, you can press the pause button, and people are always impressed by that. Okay, under the hood is just using some WebSockets. And WebSockets are such a great. It's really old WebSockets, but it's so great to be able to push stuff from the server to the browser to change the behavior of your browser. I'm still impressed by that. So you can pause the game, and let me see. No, that's not a good one. We can play it again, and you should be able to play it again. Okay, so let me see if I can manage to win the computer. And let me know in the chat if you won or if you lost. We still have some minutes to play. Okay, and I will leave the game running until 2 or 3 extra hours, and then I will undeploy it. Otherwise, my bill for the cloud will be huge. Okay, but anyway, and of course, oh, there we go. This game is open source. Everything is, all the sources are available. Can I share that with you? Do I have the link here? Submit cluster. You know what? I will because now I'm in stress. Oh, maybe here. If you go to Red Hat demo, probably there. Red Hat demo. Okay, look. I just share you the main repo because there you get all the stuff that you need. Okay. I show you that, and one really important repo here is called the demo cluster setup. Okay, so you clone this repo, you make sure you have a cluster running. Okay, everything is explained here, and then you just follow here all the steps. Okay, and believe me, it's pretty easy, especially if you do it only on one cluster, and you should be able to have this game running on your cluster. And of course, you can drive into the the code and see exactly how it has been built. It's one great piece of architecture here. Let me see the dashboard. I'm curious. Okay, we have 10 players now, 17 games completed. I'm still number one, by the way, I think. And let me try this again. Let me see. And oh, one of my cats joined the stream. Okay, so which cat is that? Oh, that is Link. Hi, Link. You're live. You're live on YouTube and Twitch. You say hello. Anyway, so let me see. And maybe one thing I can try. I'm not sure if it will work, the replay, but we can try it. Okay. For people who won the game, I think I can. Oh, maybe I will win again. Okay, 600 points. Oh, but ooh, he's really close as well. Yeah, I won't. I won't win, I think. Let me see. No, that was stupid. That was a stupid move from me. Okay. But I'm playing with one cat and one arm, streaming on the other side. Oh, yeah, I think it's done for me. No, ooh. Oh, no. You will get me now. Yeah, I lost. Okay, let me take a look at the dashboard here. 9 players, 18 games has been started. The ship sunk. 86 ships has been sunk. Okay, we have the ratio here, hit miss. That is awesome. I think I can share that with you because it's just a view stuff here. Let me share that with you. There we go. Okay. Jerson Ramirez say, I got an error trying to create my Kafka. Something went wrong. Is the problem persist? Please contact customer service. I had someone from Reddit that had that, and he suspected it was an issue with his subscription. To be honest, I don't know which is the best way to handle that. Maybe if someone on the chat, maybe you can just write an email to, I don't know if there's a contact email on the website. Just send an email. But yeah, I have the chat here, and I will try to follow up on this. Okay, but again, I cannot tell you anything what exactly is happening. Okay. Anyway. The game is running. The game is still running. If you are done with the game, you can probably just do play again, and you will be able to play again the game. Okay, I will leave it running for 1 hour or 2, and we are already at the end. So it was again a cool show. We see each other again in 2 weeks. Next week is the Tech Talk. To be honest, I don't know what Tech Talk it is next week. Let's see that together. So let me see Tech Talk. So, oh yeah. So next talk is No YAML Kubernetes done the easy way. Okay, by Kamesh, my awesome friend Kamesh. So be sure to be there. Thank you everyone so much. I hope you enjoy it, and well, see you in 2 weeks. Bye bye.